Well, we're back to traditional Trek as opposed to coming of age drama. I mean, first part was a bit coming of age drama, but it ended really interestingly. Now, I was worried that Anisha is going to die. Um, she still might. She still might not survive this season. Personally, I hope that she, if not, is cozying up to the Federation, at least gives Caleb her blessing, and that you made friends, so I'm not going to ask you to choose between the two of us. I'm just going to accept that this is part of your life now. Or they might take the easy way out and just kill her off. But anyway, from the beginning, it's the last day of the school year, which I was wondering what they were going to do last episode if they were ending the school year this episode. And oh boy, did this episode tell me. So they're all hanging out, and Jaden tries to invite them into his house. Basically, the family you choose. And so he's inviting everybody to drink wine and to say the words that will formally induct them into his house of Krog. And some were better at speaking Klingon than others. Caleb totally bailed and told Darum to finish, to drink his portion of the wine. It's like, not how any of this works. So, I'm actually quite disappointed in Terima. She can sense Caleb. She can sense his emotions. But she couldn't sense that he was going to go AWOL? That he was going to literally jump ship and leave? I hope that they don't turn her into Troy. Because the thing that bugged the hell out of me with her, I mean, I liked her as a person, but as an empath, she sucked. I actually thought that Guinan was an infinitely better empath than she was. Simply because she just told you what was freaking obvious. And I hope they don't turn Terima into that. It's like, okay, we showed how OP she is, so now we have to dial it back because, she can't lose control anymore or it's going to kill her, so she's going to be rendered completely useless. So it wasn't until Jaden found Caleb's note and gave it to Terima that they even knew that this was a thing. And Terima was super upset. I mean, Jaden wasn't exactly thrilled either. So how everybody ended up on the shuttle is first Sam gave Caleb an idea of figuring out how to find his mother's messages. Don't think like a 20-year-old, think like a 6-year-old. And voila, he finds all her messages, and she has been giving him basically the play-by-play of where she's going to be in hopes that he will meet up with her. And so he decides to take the shuttle. Sam, again, boops in, startling the crap out of Caleb, explaining that for what you want to do, you need me because I can outthink a computer, or you're going to just blow yourself to smithereens. And she's like, I'm cool. If you want to do that, I'll just sit back and watch. And so, for some reason, Genesis finds them and tries to, convince Caleb not to do this. And for some reason, a drunk Durham comes in as well. Apparently, that's another enzyme they don't have. They don't have the ability to process alcohol, so he's shit-faced. So, before Genesis could leave, they're moving, and I'm just like, well, if you knew Genesis didn't want to come with you, why did you start the procedure while she was on? And how is it that Genesis stayed upright for most of that? I mean, I understand Durham was sitting until he threw up glitter. We also found out that Keonians are very durable. I mean, how many times did he get punched in the face? I mean, you could see the blood, but it seemed like his teeth were still intact, and outside of that, he seemed no worse for the wear. So they go, and Caleb finds his mom. Now, he doesn't want to tell her about Starfleet because she doesn't believe in the Federation. She will be freaking out, which she was when she woke up on the Athena, which, I mean, she woke up after being badly injured, so I'm going to give her some grace for the fact that Caleb didn't already tell her about the Federation. That they were with the Federation, that's how he met, and, she put two and two together that he's with Starfleet. So, but yeah, she just woke up from being shot, could have been killed. So I'm going to give her the grace of freaking out, and especially freaking out when she saw Ake. And I'm now convinced more than ever that the reason they dropped that line about her wearing the boots is that this gives her the permission to actually wear shoes. Because, again, this episode, she was wearing shoes. I was again trying to see if she was wearing shoes, and again, unless the shadows are playing serious tricks on me, she's wearing shoes. I don't know why they changed it suddenly that she's wearing shoes, or like I said, maybe the shadows are just playing tricks on me and she isn't actually, but it really looks like she's wearing shoes. And of course, Caleb, being the dummy that he is, he's in this predicament because he was going to talk to Ake, who's talking to Kelrick, trying to formulate a plan of how to figure out how to deal with the Varani Ra. Now, so of course, instead of telling her, he leaves. However, Jaden and Trima did tell them what was going on. It's like, oh yeah, they hijacked your shuttle to go find his mom, even though you set out a warning saying don't travel there. Because apparently he also wants to basically do what the burn did the first time, which was make interstellar travel impossible with some Omega-47 bombs, which is supposed to kill people, but also render warp moot. You cannot use it. So, they get to that planet Ukek, I think they called it, and everybody went to try to get parts to fix the ship. While Caleb went to find his mother, which he did, because of course he did. And I have to give it to Anisha that when he pulled down his mask, she recognized him. I mean, granted, he, the 6-year-old boy that they showed at the beginning of the season looks very much like Caleb. They found someone who looked very much like him. So I don't know if that's a relative of the actor or they just found someone who looks like him. But give her props. She recognized him. I mean, she hasn't seen him in 15 years? 14 years, something like that. So, and I'm kind of bummed at her hairstyle. It just, ugh. But, so I honestly thought that Caleb would change his mind when he basically accused his mother of being part of the Venari Ra. Now, turns out that he wasn't doing that. He actually sounded like he was trying to say goodbye by making everybody pissed off at him. It's like, okay, I'm going to piss everyone off so I can run off and be with mommy. And Genesis is just like, dude, what's with this mama's boy thing? Most 20-year-olds want to live, get their own lives, and you're doing this. Now, that's a bit unfair because most 20-year-olds grow up with their mothers, whereas Caleb did not. So she assured Caleb that she's not with Braca, that she ditched him after he dropped her off on that planet that he said he did. Now, so the line that News Braca said, "Wait till you see what I did to your mother," was bullshit. He didn't do shit to her because she seems just fine. So he wants to go with her, and, the Federation people can go back to Starfleet. And until he finds out from his mother that they're probably going to kill any Federation citizens that they find, and Caleb suddenly decided he doesn't hate them after all. He does like his friends and wants to protect them. So mom helps, and she ends up getting shot. And I'm just thinking, okay, they're going to kill her off. Until the cavalry comes and they get, practically on top of them. So they can use the teleporter to bring them back to the ship because there's a shield around the planet otherwise. So it ends with them being stuck, surrounded by Omega-47 bombs. And my question is, I guess, that what would have happened if they didn't come out of warp? Because that's what they totally did. They came out of warp, and were they then surrounded by the bombs? What would have happened if they stayed in warp? It was very, very weird. And why? When they first said that they were going to separate the saucer, and everyone was like, wait, what? I honestly thought that meant that Caleb, the doctor, and Anisha would be left behind. But turns out, no. No, they were not. So I was very confused. Then they go into warp, then they come out of warp. I was very confused what was happening. Because it to my mind, if they stayed in warp, wouldn't they have gotten past the bombs? But anyway, it ends with Reno trying to send a distress call. Now, it's unclear because they're in that bubble whether any transmissions are getting through. Now, they have one thing going for them besides the fact that all the cadets are together. The cadets are together, and the doctor was so sweet. It's like, you know, Sam's like, I'm sorry. It's like, you did great. Don't ever do it again. So, but they have one thing going for them, Laura, because if Vance is like, why aren't they responding, what's going on, and doesn't actually investigate, Laura will. She will because of Reno. So we know that at least one person is going to try to get them out of it. The question becomes how? Because all the kids are on Beta Z and their ride is kind of stuck. So I don't know if the Betazoids are going to come to their rescue, if it's going to be Federation wide, or if the cadets, Ake, the doctor, Reno, and Anisha are going to band together. Is Anisha going to give herself up and stay with the Venari Rawl in exchange for letting them go? Is she going to let the Federation save her and then, be lukewarm to them because Caleb's a part of it? Who knows? Who knows what's going to happen next episode, but that's the season finale. I am so glad that there's one more episode because having to wait a year would kill me. Granted, waiting a week isn't much better because I really want to know what happens, but I'm very, very curious. Now, just an aside, did they call Laura Chancellor? Because I didn't think she was. I thought she was just the cadet master. I mean, maybe they said cadet master and I just misheard. Let's see, what else did I want to mention about this episode? I'm getting very, very tired of Caleb being a serious dick. They always talk about Darren being a dick, but this episode, it was totally Caleb. Caleb was 100% a dick. I mean, he was nice to Tarima when he basically, gave her his goodbye speech, which again pisses me off that Tarima didn't catch on that he was leaving. I mean, I do not know what is the point of being an empath and having such a read on Caleb because of their being together. That, I mean, is it because she's afraid because, like she said in the turbo lift, that, both of them are trying to process the fact that she killed people with her mind? But for some reason, she did not catch that he was leaving. So that kind of pissed me off because how could she not know that? Let's see. What else did I want to mention about this episode? I really don't know what I want, whether I want Anisha to live and be totally cool with Caleb being part of the Federation and her staying in Federation space. Her being cool with Caleb being part of the Federation going back, even though that probably wouldn't end well for her. Or if she just dies. I'm honestly not sure how I want this to play out. Because, I don't want Caleb to go through the trauma of losing his mother again, only this time permanently. Do not want that. I don't want the trauma of him losing his mother to the Valari Ral. It's still entirely possible, since Caleb pegged her as being Valari Ral, that this could be, three-dimensional chess, and that she's actually working for them, and that she's actually been in contact with Braca, and that he told her about Caleb, and that she's just playing Caleb, whether it's because she genuinely wants him to join her and not the Federation, or but at the same time trying to screw over the Federation, because they have the same enemy. Because even though Ake was like, yeah, I screwed up with that one, she doesn't know that. I mean, maybe next episode she'll explain what's going on, and maybe Caleb will explain, since she's still recovering. But maybe she did this to set a trap that Braca will let her and Caleb go if she helps him capture Ake. I mean, that's a possibility too. That she's just technically playing Caleb, which would, that would probably be the worst thing for Caleb, to find out that his mother actually played him because she wants to get revenge on Ake. And who knows, maybe, like I said, maybe she'll sacrifice herself because she sees that these are Caleb's friends and he doesn't want anything to happen to them, because she did try to protect the kids. And she'll see his relationship with Ake and realize that, I can't, continue on with this. Or she's going to continue to be a bad guy. Or she is not playing Caleb, and, she's going to stick with him and the Federation. Or just stick with him and the Federation and say screw you to Braca. That's a possibility too. Let's see, what else is there that I want to say about this episode. I think I covered everything I wanted to this episode. So with that, I will see you guys in the next video.